Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Going on Daily Live. I'm Becky here with Luannah. Good to see you again.
Hi, so great to see you too. It's been a long
Been so
time.
long since you and I did a show together.
Yeah, I think it was way in the beginning when I first started. That was the
Well, I can't do Wednesdays anymore. And
yeah.
so, although I probably can now because all of our schools are on strike in Alberta.
Oh, okay.
So we'll see how
Wow.
long that goes for. Maybe it'll just be the week, maybe it'll be the month. Who knows? But today's day one of them being on strike. So
Everybody's on strike.
yes. So, I mean, my kids are teenagers. For me, it's easy. Just go
Yeah.
sleep in. Although my older one, she goes to sports school, so she still gets to go to that in the morning. But the
Oh,
younger one, the one that I have troubles with in the morning, she just gets to sleep, and I'm okay with that.
and she's happy about that, I'm sure.
Oh, when I told them, oh, by the way, your school's going on strike, all of the schools are going on strike, jump for joy. She was
Yeah,
the
for
happiest
sure.
she's ever been. And it actually sucks
Woohoo!
because she's doing well this year. She doesn't normally do great in school. She's kind of like average to low average. This year she's like 80s and 90s. So it's like sad to see that momentum get
Oh,
bonked a little bit. But
right.
well,
Yeah.
hopefully the teachers get what they need and the government gets what they need and everyone will be
That's
good.
what
And
you
it's
yes.
but
Yes.
oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. So anyways, it is Monday morning. Did you have a good weekend?
Oh, I had a great weekend. Yeah. My
Yeah.
father's visiting from Ontario. So he's been
Nice.
here. Yeah, so we're just hanging out with my husband and our doggie and
That's
cooking some
lovely.
nice meals and
Oh, that's
yeah,
wonderful.
it's been
Oh,
beautiful
so
weather.
nice.
So it's been a nice weekend. Yeah.
You know, what I was in Ontario last week and I said to my uncle, like, I wish we could be together more often, because I've lived in Alberta for 30 years. So I really missed out on a lot of that family growing up time. It was just me and my brother and my parents here, and that's it.
Oh, okay.
And only recently we moved my grandma here because she has dementia.
Mm,
But my other grandma's still there, all my aunts and uncles. And I said, I really missed out on this. Like, it would
right.
be so nice. And so that time you do have together is so quality. It's like
Yeah.
you can't, nothing compares,
Yes. Yeah, I agree.
and I'm sure that's what you're feeling with your dad.
Yes, it's really beautiful. It's been a few years since he's been here. We
Oh,
had
wow.
my mother here for almost 2.5 years in her last years of
Wow.
life.
Wow.
So he didn't come in that time. They've been divorced since I was 7. So
Yeah.
he's really happy to be here to come back again.
So nice.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, and it's so beautiful where you live. Like, there's
yeah,
just
yeah,
something so peaceful, I'm sure, about being out
yeah,
there compared to Ontario. Ontario is like hustle and bustle.
yeah. I know. I remember. Yeah, yeah. No, it's beautiful because I feel very blessed that I could have both of them here at different times, and
Yeah, that's
you know,
amazing.
have that
Well,
have that.
awesome. Savor this time together.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely.
So this week is cheese week.
Yeah.
So that's so
Yes.
stupid. But Ron and I were chatting last week. Hey, like, 2 weeks ago we did hometown stories. Last week we did fall stories. We're like, what's a good, storyline for this
Yeah.
week? And I sent him a list of like this month's national holidays, or maybe they're not even national holidays, just holidays. And I
Yeah.
say that loosely, holidays.
Right.
And
Right.
one of them was Cheese Week, and I laughed because at the time I'd just gotten back in my car out of the grocery store, and I bought myself a block of mozzarella, like I did when I was little. My mom would buy that for lasagna or whatever,
Right.
and I just opened it up in my car and I was munching on it, and I
Oh my
said,
god, my husband and I do that all the time when
"Oh,
we're hungry. We just grab a chunk of
yeah."
cheese and we just like eat it in the car.
Admittedly, it wasn't as delicious as I remember. I don't know what the difference was. Like I got that like the ball
Mhm.
of
Yeah.
mozzarella that's normally so good. This one was like it was so soft. It was almost like cream cheese. So like eating it in my car was not
Um,
nearly as satisfying. But I sent a
right.
picture of my teeth marks in it to Ron, and I'm like, it's Cheese Week. So that's where Cheese Week came
That's your
from.
favorite. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So we're talking about some cheesy stories today.
Yeah, well, I
You're gonna
love
lead us off.
cheese. I love cheese so much.
Seriously. When I tell clients, like when they come in and I look at their blood and I go, okay, you've got some major food sensitivities, it's likely dairy and grains.
Mhm.
And they're like, okay, that's fine. Like, I don't have to eat bread, whatever. And then I'm like, okay, but dairy. Oh, I don't drink a lot of milk. Perfect. Cheese is milk. What?
Yes.
Cheese?
Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't,
dairy. I love dairy. I shouldn't eat as much of it because, like this morning, I woke up with allergies because
Oh no.
yesterday I ate a bit too much dairy. Yeah, I made my
Oh
favorite
no.
cheesecake,
Oh.
and
How-
I brought some here.
oh my
I made
gosh.
a little my mini cheesecakes. I
Those are
made them
cute.
last night. Yeah.
Even though they cause you to
Oh my gosh, I
become
know.
super inflamed.
Totally sinus, but it's worth it. They're so good.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Just an offside topic. What blood type are you? Do you know?
Actually, you know what? I don't remember.
Because
Yeah.
O's, I'm an O. We hate dairy. We love
Oh,
it,
really?
but we hate it. It hates us.
Okay.
So I
Yeah.
wondered if maybe you were no blood type. But
Yeah.
anyways,
I've
that's
always
okay.
said I should know that, but I don't. Many times
Most
like I'm
people
gonna
don't.
check it out, but
Most people don't.
I don't know anymore. Yeah.
That's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, why don't you start us off? Cheese, please.
Cheese, please. Oh
Yes.
my gosh, I love cheese, especially when I lived in Europe. European cheese, that's my favorite
Oh,
cheeses,
I can
right?
imagine. I can imagine.
Gruyere, Gouda. And one time when I was in my early 20s, I went on a camping trip through the mountains,
Mhm.
and we stopped off at this guy's he had like a place hot people could stay at as well, like a little
Mhm.
hostel kind of thing. But he gave us his homemade mountain cheese.
Oh my word.
Oh my goodness, that was like it's still the most amazing cheese I've ever eaten on planet Earth. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and so today when we're thinking about cheese, well, cheesecake, because I love cheesecake. That's
Yes.
my husband's too. And today's our anniversary, so I served
Oh, happy anniversary.
7 years marriage. We're
Amazing.
celebrating today. Yeah, so I got the cheesecake and fed it to him this morning before coming on the show, and
Adorable.
yeah. And so I wanted to do some research on cheesecake. I'm like, well, what is the origin of cheesecake? So I've got a bunch of things that I uncovered that I'll share. I'm going to read from my notes because I don't have that memorized. But
No, that's fine.
so apparently, the origin is ancient Greece on the island of Samos. Yeah, on the island of Samos. Early cheesecakes made with cheese, flour, wheat, and honey. They were served to the athletes at the first Olympic Games as an energy food.
Oh, wow.
The food of champions, cheesecake.
So early. It's cheesecake. I have a story to tell you about this after.
The food of champions is cheesecake. Yay! I thought that was a really cool fact. And that was in 776 BCE.
Wow. So I used to do makeup for years and years. Like I would do weddings, I would do grads, but I often would do fitness competitions, those like bodybuilding competitions.
Okay, yeah.
And I mean, those girls would eat boiled chicken and steamed broccoli for like 4 months, right? They had zero fat on their body. But on the day of the show, they would always get something high fat. And it would always be cheesecake. I mean, one girl, it was peanut butter, but almost all the girls that I ever did the makeup for had a cheesecake on the day of the show. Because for whatever reason, it just pumped up their muscles even more after 4 months of starving.
Wow. And look at that fact that the Olympics used it as an energy food source. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that I like that. Gives us a good excuse to say, yeah, I'm prepping for my workout. I'm gonna have a cheesecake.
I'm an athlete. I'm eating cheesecake because I'm athletic. Thanks.
Yeah. Beautiful. And then so it's also used as wedding cake in Greek traditions. There was a Roman adaptation where Romans started adding eggs, crushed cheese, and baked libuma, sometimes used pastry bases. In just one little touch and it all went up. In medieval Europe, cheesecake evolved into tarts and regional forms using local cheeses, like Quark in Germany, which we don't really have here in North America. And the American twist. In 1872, William Lawrence from New York was trying to replicate French Neufchâtel, I guess that's a cake, and accidentally created cream cheese. So cream cheese was an accidental creation.
Happy accident.
Yeah, happy accident. That made the smooth, creamy New York style cheesecake possible. Pretty cool, hey? So the modern variations to highlight are Basque cheesecake from San Sebastian, Spain, crustless, caramelized top, creamy interior, and the Japanese have a version of cheesecake too, which is lighter and airier and
Yeah,
less sweet, and
that
it's
is
cooked in a water bath.
so popular right now.
Yeah, yeah.
We went to the Mississauga Mall, Square One, and they had this crazy food court, this Asian food court, with a couple of other regions, but mostly Asian food. And they had this cheesecake, and it smelled amazing. It looked amazing. It looked like puffy almost, like it wasn't dense.
It's fluffy. Yeah, it's spongy.
And my girls both were like, "Yeah, we have places like that in Edmonton." Like, what? Why have I never seen it? Why have I never eaten there? But I did not want to spend $15 on a piece of cheesecake, so I didn't do it.
Right.
But I might in Edmonton, honestly. I might go.
Yeah, it's worth it for the try. Yeah, our son Isaac loves Japanese cheesecake, and I tried it through him, and it's pretty nice. It's not as sweet as I like it. I like it sweeter, but it is very nice. It's very light and not as dense and heavy as our versions with the cream cheese and everything. Yeah. And then the Cheesecake Factory's origin. Evelyn Overton discovered a cheesecake recipe in a Detroit newspaper in the 1940s and eventually built a bakery that became well-known restaurant chains just from that one recipe she found in the newspaper.
No way.
So look at that serendipitous. What if she hadn't found that newspaper that day? What if she hadn't opened that page? We wouldn't have New York cheesecake. Right?
So you guys have Cheesecake Factory?
We do.
Where you live,
there's one in Vancouver. Yeah.
So we don't have them here. We did see one in Ontario. My kids were like, "Oh my God, it's a Cheesecake Factory," like as if they know what that is, because we've done no traveling to the States. But TikTok must talk about it or something, because we don't have it in Alberta. We have the Cheesecake Cafe, and it's, I'm sure, loosely based on it. They have delicious cheesecake. You don't go, "Oh my gosh, it's Cheesecake Cafe." It's just like, yeah, it's okay. It's another restaurant.
Right. Yeah, and so there's my cheesecake stories. And
fantastic.
And I'm gonna I thought I'm gonna, just for theatrical, I'm gonna take a bite of my little cheesecake.
Yeah, right. And just watch your face get redder and redder.
Yeah. I'll probably sneeze a few more times.
Oh my gosh, you poor thing. Oh, that's terrible.
It's so good, and it's so fun. And I'd made a big cheesecake last week, and I had leftover filling. And so then that's why I decided to make these little cheesecake bites.
Yeah, why not? Now, is your cheesecake a baked cheesecake or a no bake?
A baked cheesecake.
Okay, yeah. I've never done that. I only ever make no bake ones.
Oh, I have a great recipe I can send you.
Please.
Yes.
My no bake one is so easy. You take a block of cream cheese, 2 pouches of what is it called? Dream Whip, like the powdered whipped cream, and then you add milk to it. And then it's called Dream Whip. And you froth it, and then it turns into whipped cream. I'm sure you could just use regular whipped cream, honestly. The Dream Whip has a nice flavor to it, but then you add a bit of vanilla, and then you just mix the two together. You do a graham cracker and butter crust, a layer of that cream cheese, and then like pie filling. It's easy. It's the easiest thing, and it is stupid good.
Let's exchange recipes.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Just what we need. More reactions to dairy. Yeah, just blow up like a balloon.
It's worth it every now and then. It's just so we got to enjoy these little pleasures, and
totally.
Yeah.
I'm excited for Cheese Week because, I mean, why not? Right? Why not? We love cheese. I was at the farmer's market this weekend. It was the second last weekend for it to be open because we are getting cold here. And I stopped by this dairy booth. They have just the absolute best butter, creamed butter, salted. It's perfection. But this time he had samples of different cheeses. And so he had me try what he called fromage blanc, white cheese, but it was almost like a cream cheese, but different. Like I would say somewhere in between ricotta and cream together, a little gritty like the ricotta, but smooth like the cream. I just bought it. I ate it on a spoon. Like I have no idea what to put it on because I don't have like bagels or bread or anything, but it was fantastic.
Just eat it by the spoon like you're doing. Why not?
Like, I don't know what else to eat it with. I guess I could buy bagels, but
unbelievable.
Unbelievable. That's
unbelievable.
Cute. Like that. Oh, I didn't realize that Ron had comments going here. There we go. And you know what? It's not under your name, Ron. It just says it's from Restream, at least on my end. It's weird. Anyways, let me get to where you can find us here. We are currently live on 8 million different platforms: Kick, YouTube, Rumble, Twitch. We're at Rhode Island Broadcasting or RI_broadcasting. If you type in Rhode Island Broadcasting. Oh, and we're live on Twitter. What? Did we do that? Okay, we are live on Twitter also. So we are here at all these places. You can watch us live. Comment. We love your comments here. You can also listen to us after the fact. Let's say you're not around at 7 a.m. Pacific time, 8 a.m. Mountain time. You can check us out at Spotify, Red Circle, TuneIn, and iHeartRadio at RIBroadcasting. You can also follow along with any of our social medias and then some. U42 Parlor, Space, Hey, Gab, MeWe, TikTok, LinkedIn. I'm missing some. Parlor. Maybe I said that. At Twitter, of course, like I said before. But check us out at RI Broadcasting at most of those places, or on our Patreon, where you can support the show, keep it going at RI Broadcasting. Of course, we have a new Facebook page that we would love for you to follow. If you don't have MeWe, Space, Hey, Gab, Parlor, all the things, I'm sure you have Facebook. Go ahead and give us a follow at Going On Daily Morning Show. We want to be able to go live on Facebook again, and the only way to do it is to have X amount of followers. So please go ahead and follow us right there. You can also support our show on our website at RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net. You can donate up to $10 million on there. No big deal. You can also vote for the Hall of Fame. So this month's Hall of Fame is 80s TV shows: Cheers, Happy Days, Golden Girls, MASH, or Married with Children. I immediately voted for Golden Girls. It is my favorite show.
Yeah, I love Golden Girls.
It is so good. I think, who do I think is going to take this? Cheers might take this. Honestly, I think Golden Girls is going to take it, though, because it has such a weird cult following these days.
And from all walks of life, too, because
Yeah.
it's universal humor, right? Yeah.
And it's not cheesy. Like, you look back at a lot of TV shows and it's cheesy.
Yeah.
This show was like crude for the time. It was sort of crude because these were like seniors.
Yes.
I don't know. There's something just like so perfect about it. Ron hated it when he heard that I loved Golden Girls. He's like,
oh,
no, it's so good. Give it some time, Ron.
Yeah.
Actually watch it. It is so funny.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially in that time, they were just breaking the boundaries of comedy too, right? And
Such a stigma against seniors.
Yeah.
Actually, if you look into the ages of a lot of them, they really weren't as old as they looked. Like, especially Sophia, like the mom.
Yeah.
She was the same age as the rest of them. She was actually younger than some of them. They made her
No
look older.
way.
But
I
I
didn't
think
know
because
that.
of styling back then, haircuts, they looked a heck of a lot older. If you compare, I think it's like Jennifer Aniston is like the same age as like Rue McClanahan was. You know, like you would never, I don't know, just the styling made them look a heck of a lot older back then.
Wow.
But, you know, you watch it, you believe that these are seniors. These are like your grandmothers.
Yeah.
So it makes it that much funnier. Very risque.
Yes.
Love it.
Yeah.
I'm Ron saying nothing. There we go. Golden Girls and Cheers are tied. I figured that
yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
So make sure you go ahead and vote at RhodeIslandBroadcasting.net to get your say and get your winner to the top for the Hall of Fame. So I'm going to transition out of cheese here for a little bit. I want to tell you a story about a man and his wild animal. This has like always been a dream of mine, to be a person that has a wild animal friend. So far, I've not been blessed with such greatness. You know, I see animals in the wild. They don't, I'm not supposed to touch them. They don't want to be touched, right? But sometimes people break the mold and become friends with unlikely characters. So there was a man named Cheeto. His name is actually Gilberto Shedden. He was a Costa Rican fisherman, and he had an unusual friend that he named Pacho, who was a 16-foot long crocodile. And they were friends. They were friends. Yes. It's like you hear about these people with their snakes and they're like, oh, the snake lays in bed with me. The snake cuddles. It's like, how? But you know what? You might get the odd animal who just, I don't know, has no desire, no prey drive or whatever.
Wow.
Yeah. So
crocodile, that is like a first. Holy, that's
yeah,
incredible.
yeah, it's like there's one thing when it's the guys and the bears, the guys at the lions, whatever, but like a
Yeah,
crocodile, I've
yeah,
never seen like a compassionate crocodile. Like, no, I actually don't think I'm gonna eat you. I'm not hungry.
yeah,
You know,
yeah,
crocodiles aren't
yeah.
like that.
Like, so the crocodile tears, right? That's why we like
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
usually
Exactly.
in there, right?
So the fisherman Cheeto, he first met this crocodile after finding him with a gunshot wound in his head.
Oh
He was
my
on
God.
the Central American states, Parismina River back in 1991. So he'd been shot in the left eye by a cattle farmer, probably because he was going to go kill a cow. I mean, it
Yeah,
makes sense, right?
yeah,
But he
yeah.
didn't die. He was so thin though at the time because of, he was obviously dying. He was only 150 pounds or 69 kilograms for the rest of the world who only uses kilograms. Cheeto, again, the fisherman, and several of his friends loaded up this crocodile and took him to where, I don't know how to say this word, so I'm not even going to, but took him back to where he lived, basically, and was nursed back to health. So for 6 months, Cheeto fed him chicken, fish, and medicine, and even slept with the crocodile during his recovery. Slept with him. I think like he's in a cage, maybe, or
Wow.
bold,
Oh,
but
that is
okay.
a really heart-touching story. Wow.
Totally. So it says that Cheeto, he had to simulate chewing food with his mouth to encourage Pacho to eat it, and then gave the crocodile kisses and hugs while talking to it and petting it.
Wow.
Again, bold choice.
Oh, that's so beautiful.
Cheeto had told people that food just wasn't enough for him. The croc needed my love to regain the will to live.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He hid the croc in an obscured pond underneath trees deep in a nearby forest while he obtained the necessary wildlife permits from the Costa Rican authorities to own and raise a injured crocodile legally. It's weird to me that there are legal
Wow.
routes for such a thing. Like I would say probably straight across the board, you don't raise a crocodile, but what do I know? So, like I said, he named him Pacho, Pocho.
Wow.
Um, and then he eventually improved to normal health. He started to get better. He eventually was released into a nearby river to return to its normal life. But the next morning, and see, this is like my dream right here. The next morning, Cheeto woke up, and outside of his home was Pacho. He'd
Oh.
followed him home and was sleeping on the veranda.
Oh. Oh, that is
Hard.
amazing. I want that too.
I
Yeah.
know, right? I want every Disney movie like, and all these birds will fly.
Oh,
So he ended up just living in the water outside of Cheeto's home, and they made the decision. They say that loosely. Made the decision to spend the rest of his life with this man who saved him.
oh,
He
wow,
became a member of Cheeto's family,
wow.
really, along with his wife and daughter
And
as
the
well.
crocodile was okay with the wife and daughter too? Didn't
Well, I'm gonna guess that when you're married to someone like Cheeto, you probably don't get much of a say. He's probably like, "By the way, I'm bringing a crocodile home, and that's
yeah.
that."
Wow.
But it sounds oh, actually, this says that it was with his second wife because his first wife left him because he was spending too much time with the crocodile.
No.
Wow. Wow. Okay, so he
Wow.
literally picked this crocodile over his wife. Crazy.
Wow.
So this is a quote from Cheeto. He says, "Once the crocodile followed me home and came to me whenever I called his name, I knew it could be trained. Another wife I could get." A crocodile behaving like Pacho was one in a million. Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
That's
Ron
funny.
says the first wife was eaten, maybe.
Yeah. Did they
So
investigate?
right? So it says an employee saw Cheeto swimming with Pacho one day. The word of the duo's friendship then spread through the town. By July 2000, now keep in mind, it had been 9 years since he had found Pacho. Costa Rica's Channel 7 filmed the unusual pair. Cheeto and his crocodile friend Pancho became stars, receiving attention all the way as far as like the UK, United States, Chile, all
Wow.
over the world, basically.
That's
Uh,
incredible.
The Environment, Energy, and Telecommunications Ministry allowed Cheeto to keep Pacho as long as they could monitor it. Cheeto worked with the veterinarian and a biologist and fed Pacho 30 kilos of fish and chicken a week. I mean, realistically, this is a good life for Pacho. He doesn't have to do any hunting. He's just given it. But I wonder if it's like a snake where you don't just give a snake a mouse. It has to be like taunted, basically, so it can feel like it hunted. I don't know. I feel like this guy just did whatever. He just loves
It'd be
it.
a cool cartoon. I'm just seeing a cartoon image of it.
That's right.
Throwing the food in the crocodile's mouth.
Yes,
Just
exactly.
doing nothing. Yeah.
So from then on, for more than a decade, Cheeto and Pacho performed weekly on Sunday afternoons in a 100 square meter artificial lake in his hometown in Costa Rica, performing in the water for tourists and that come from around the world, demonstrating this unique and impossible friendship between this man and a crocodile. I would pay to see that. 100% I would.
So would I. Yeah. Totally.
I guess there's a documentary that came out. It's called The Man Who Swims with Crocodiles.
Oh.
So it follows Cheeto, and he's really the only man ever known to tame a crocodile. So I would absolutely watch
Thank
that.
you for sharing. Wow.
20 years. 20 years he was with this. Now, the crocodile did die, unfortunately, in 2011. So it was really 20 years that he had this guy. He died in the water outside of Cheeto's home after the first human-style public funeral ever was given for the crocodile and attended by many humans. Cheeto sang to his departed pet, held out his hand, while the giant crocodile, now a treasure of Costa Rican culture, was stuffed. So now he remains on permanent display behind the glass in the town's museum.
No way. Okay.
So it sounds like Cheeto has a second crocodile named Pacho too. Weird, okay, but all right. With his prospects of having long-term success, the same way he did with Pacho 1.
Okay.
Although I don't know if it is the same, it probably doesn't have the same dynamic. You know, he probably did raise it from baby though.
Right.
But I don't know.
Not that life dependency dynamic that would happen with the first one, right? Yeah, where
exactly.
That being saved just creates a different bond, right?
Exactly. And you always see videos online of this, of you know, saving a deer if their leg is stuck, or saving a whale or whatever, and then them or a dolphin, and then they come back.
Yeah.
I've never been blessed with such an opportunity. I would like to be. With my luck, it would bite off my hand and swim away or whatever. But you know, I'm hoping for one day.
I had an experience with a deer many years ago. I had a really rustic little cabin here on the island in the bluffs, only an outhouse and a small little water heater. So it was a really small, beautiful place, but I loved being there. And then this baby deer started coming around, and I started feeding him some romaine lettuce.
Oh.
And then he kept growing, he kept coming, and then every morning he was looking at the window, waiting for me to come up, to get up, to give him his lettuce, and he would only take it from my hand. If I put it on the ground, he wouldn't take it. He'd only take it from my hand. And then just before I moved from that place, he brought his girlfriend. and they hung out. So that's one of my closest experience with a wild animal. I called him Merlin. That was my name. Yeah, he was so cute. Yeah. It was the hardest thing leaving that place because I was leaving him. But he was already grown and he had his girlfriend. And so I'm sure they're going to have their life and everything. But yeah, it's a beautiful thing.
So sweet.
To connect to something, you know, a living being in nature that is otherwise usually running away from humans. Right.
Right.
So, yeah,
exactly. I mean,
or eating it, right? Like the crocodile.
Yes, exactly. I do think, and I don't think all wild animals feel this, but I do think the odd one maybe is just born a little different.
Yeah.
Something inside of it that's a little softer. Like, what movie was that? I'm trying to remember though. Shark Tale, maybe, or it was a cartoon, but it was about a shark who was supposed to be eating fish and he didn't want to. He wanted to be friends with the fish. So then when he was around his family, he had to pretend that he was a mean shark. And then
Oh, I don't know that one. Yeah, but that
Oh,
might
I
be
think
shark
it's
tail.
shark
Yeah.
tail. I think it's stupid. I mean, but I'm just picturing this crocodile like this shark on there. Like
Yeah.
he just didn't want to hurt anybody. Everything's given to him. Like I said, he doesn't
Yeah.
have to hunt. He has someone being kind to him. He's got his
Yeah.
own little pond. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
why not?
Well, yeah, totally.
Now, to our viewers at home who think that you can domesticate a crocodile, you cannot.
No.
100% you cannot. This is a 1 in a 8 billion person chance, I would
Yes.
say.
I would say that's a
This
good estimate. Yeah, good
has
calculation.
never in history been recorded for
Yeah.
anybody domesticating a crocodile. Don't try this at home. Okay.
Yeah.
Do
No.
not have our permission.
No.
Maybe start with deer. Deer are a little gentler, I
Yes.
would say. Like Luannah, feed them romaine lettuce on your back deck. And
Yes. And they'll come to you every day. Oh, it was just the most beautiful thing.
I
Yeah.
can imagine.
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's transition into your topic here. First off, I want to say thank you to the people who are watching, but why aren't you commenting? My Twitter friends, come comment. We'd love to hear from you. We can see that you're here, but don't comment. We got 3 people on Twitter. That's pretty good for just being brand new on Twitter.
Awesome.
Okay, let's talk remedy and the cause of contempt.
Yeah. So this is a big topic, and I was working with a client on this week who came for some guidance with, navigating feeling completely numb and contemptful too of the relationship, and it's because stresses and things like that come in. So I thought this could be a good topic because a lot of people feel that. And it's not just relationship. We can feel contempt towards life as well. We can feel contempt towards God.
Yes.
We can feel contempt, even towards ourselves at times. And what is contempt? It's this feeling of scorn, right? And that something's not, it's beneath us, or it's not worth our time. And you wonder how, from the honeymoon phase, how do we end up in contempt, right? And it happens. That's why there's so much divorce, right? and so it's important to understand that when we get into a relationship or a new work environment, it could be as well, it could be a friendship, or a new situation in life, when things are going really well, it's easy to be right, and then we always see the good stuff, and especially in the honeymoon phase of a relationship, we are our best self.
Yes.
And it's true, the best self that we're presenting. I mean, unless there's a different story of a manipulation or whatever, that's a different story. But when there's a real, heart and soul connection, and then there's this feeling like, yeah, you're the one, and let's keep going, right? Let's make our life happen. But we go into it blindly because we don't realize that the honeymoon is just the coming attractions of what can happen, where we can connect. This is saying we have a connection, but we all have an underbelly. We all have trauma triggers. We all have things that only will come out in an intimate relationship. And so when they come out, then we're like, well, you're not who you were when I married you. Right? And then then you put the life stresses in and things like that, money, mortgages, kids, all the stresses. And then little by little, we stop appreciating our partner.
I actually had this conversation very recently with a friend, and I will try to keep it as vague as possible here. But basically, this person has recently taken a break from their spouse, and whilst breaking, has also met a person, which is never, in no way is this helpful to your relationship.
No.
This person told me that this new person treats them better than their spouse ever did, makes them feel amazing. And I said, you know why? Because you're not paying bills. You're not trying to have a baby. You're not having a mortgage. You don't go to work together. You don't know this person. Everything is sunshine and rainbows in the beginning because you don't have a real life. All you have is playtime. It's fantasy right now. You factor in all the real life stuff, and it's all of a sudden you're back to where you were.
Exactly. It's like, there is no better than here, because wherever I go, there I am. Right. Yeah. So the same dynamics will keep repeating.
Yes.
Even in the new honeymoon. Well, that honeymoon will end, because honeymoons do end.
Yes, they do.
they end, but they can become a permanent experience once we've gone through the landmines.
I would like to know how to get to that point. We got her. We didn't really get much of a honeymoon period when we got married because I was diagnosed with cancer within the first few months. So
Wow.
it's like, so all of a sudden it's like all this time that we're supposed to be having fun, and now we're a married couple, and it was spent in treatment. So,
Yeah.
and now after that, it's like now we're 3 years in, and it's like, where's that honeymoon? We want that.
Well, I can give you an idea, because what creates our honeymoon phase is appreciation.
Mm.
We appreciate each other.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate what we experience with each other in the honeymoon.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. There's a
Mm-hmm.
connection, and there's like, we see the light and the goodness in each other.
Fair.
Right? And so, and that's all we see, because
Mm-hmm.
that is essentially the essence of who we are. But again, we all have stuff. I know my husband and I, we've had moments where, the stresses of life and lost in translations, or
Yes.
where the wounds would get triggered in a way that neither of us intended to trigger, but then it takes a process to work through it to get to that clarity, right?
That.
Contempt could have taken over
Yes. I could see that
easily.
for
And
sure. And it's funny how you said, like, in the beginning, yeah, you're appreciative. Like, yeah, that honeymoon phase when you're like, man, I love that you did that. I love that you work so much. You're such a hard worker. I
yeah,
love that you save your money and you're
yeah.
good. And now it's like, why are you at work all the time? Why are you so cheap? Like,
Yeah,
it's funny.
yeah. Exactly. There's a beautiful book called The Dance of Intimacy. I read it in my 20s. And in the very first chapter, she says that the things that we love about our partner in the beginning tend to be the things that we
Yeah.
grow contempt and
Yes.
anger towards later on.
I
And
could
so,
see that.
yeah. And so, but the thing is when we understand and we know something, then we can navigate it.
Mm-hmm.
If I understand that the honeymoon is the preview of coming attractions of the best of me and the best of you,
Mm-hmm.
but I have awareness that, okay, we have other stuff in our backpack that's never had a chance to heal because there wasn't enough love there. So now that
Yeah.
there's love there,
Mm-hmm.
love is going to unearth everything that's not of itself,
Yeah.
right? So that the love can grow.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was working with my client and I shared that, he's like, oh my God, that makes total sense. Right? And that the realization that both of them, because what happens is there's, like, I call it trigger trauma ping pong, right? So at some point there's a trigger.
Yeah.
How we navigate that first trigger is really important.
I remember my first trigger with he wasn't my husband then, he was my boyfriend then, or it might have even been my fiance then. But I remember, and it was ugly. And he was like, where is this coming from? Like, in the 4 years at this point we've been together,
Yeah.
he's like, there was never any of this before. And then all of a sudden I was like mad about something.
Yeah.
And it was hard to navigate. And it was like, I couldn't even tell you why I was triggered. Honestly, I think it was something from my past that,
Absolutely.
that was buried, that all of a sudden was like, surprise, I'm here still.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it was brutal.
Yeah. The hidden landmines that we don't even know are there.
I thought I had long dealt with it. I'd been with this man for 4 years at the time.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden I was mad about something.
Yeah. Well, what happens too is that love, invites us to be vulnerable.
Yes.
And in vulnerability, sometimes in relationship, when a certain place gets opened,
Mm-hmm.
we actually become more triggered because we're vulnerable and we're protecting.
Hmm.
It's quite a complex dynamic, but when you understand it,
Yeah.
and you understand that my triggers were in me long before I met my husband, and his triggers were there long before he met me. But we are both the perfect catalyst for the love to grow, and we're the perfect catalyst for the healing that needs to happen.
Yes.
So when I understand relationship as not just you're here to make me happy and be who I think you should be, and vice versa, when I see a relationship as a journey to know myself and to know each other, then there's a pathway we can walk when these triggers happen.
Mm-hmm.
There's new perceptions that we can connect the dots to versus just going with our emotional reactivity.
Right.
right? Because as soon as we get emotionally reactive, we are not cognitively clear. We're not seeing anything.
Right.
And then we have this funny idea that, oh, well, because I feel it's strong, it's got to be true. It's like, no, strong feelings do not equate truth and facts.
Right.
Strong
Yes.
feelings, right? So this
Yeah.
is a part of what builds the contempt. If we're not able to communicate and clear up these lost in translations, well, they stack and they
Yeah.
stack and they
Yes.
stack. And then our nervous system, because we've got so many stacked, unresolved moments together, right? Then silly little things like the lid on the toothpaste start leaving it on the counter, right? This
Yes.
is the typical one that people talk about, right?
Yes.
Then suddenly little things start irritating, and it's like, but it's not
Yeah.
that, right? It's a sign that there's discontentment, and then contempt is starting. It's
Yeah.
starting to build, right?
And it is such a dangerous place to be in a relationship as well. Like, I remember being in my first marriage and saying to my ex-husband, like, just, I know I'm nagging all the time, or I'm mad about stuff, or I'm, being a little me all the time. I said, the second I have no intention to do that anymore, I'm out. Like, my brain is done. And it was like I woke up one day and I just didn't care anymore. And I knew I'd hit that massive contempt wall, but I literally did not care anymore, and I was done. And then all of a sudden it was like, I think I want a divorce from this person. Like, I think I don't want to be married to this person. And granted, my relationship deserved more effort than I had given it in the end, unfortunately. But at the time it was like, I just didn't know what else to do. And it was like, I'm done here, because I'd hit that wall. I'd hit that contempt wall. And you can break it. You definitely can.
It can be dissolved. I mean, appreciation is like the magic, squirt of dawn in the greasy sink.
Yeah, right.
Right. And
Well,
because
no,
as soon or pardon?
No, I was sorry, I was just gonna say the appreciation thing. I know when I was feeling a lot of triggers from my past marriage come into my current marriage, my friend said to me, take a journal and write down 3 things you appreciate about your husband every day.
Yeah.
And they can be the same as the day before, but just something that you appreciated about him in the moment. And in the beginning, it was really hard to find stuff,
Of course.
because I was like, I don't appreciate anything he's doing. He's annoying, like stuff like that. And then it was like, well, like, he did clean up the garage. And
Right.
even though that wasn't for me directly, I appreciate that he took the time to do that, things like that. And eventually it got a little bit easier every day to appreciate things that he was doing.
And what you're doing in that moment. So what happens is, where is contempt coming from? It's coming from our survival brain. It's coming from our fight or flight.
Yes.
And when we're in our fight or flight, we just narrow everything to the minute. There's a big, beautiful, dark carpet, and we just focus on the one little dot, right? So because it's affecting our survival and our vulnerability.
Is that why when someone could be complimented 100 times and then someone they care about says one thing that's negative, and that's all they've ever heard? Not the 100 beautiful comments, it's the one negative comment?
Exactly, because there's a deep wound that's never been addressed or healed. And ultimately, we're the only ones who can heal ourselves and give ourselves that love.
Yeah.
But in a partnership, we can learn how to do that together.
Crazy.
Right? And we can bring in the kindness and consideration with each other and understand we've all got stuff. We're all entering relationship in incompleteness and brokenness, looking for the love that we've always wanted, because we know it's possible. And we know we deserve it. But if we don't understand the landscape of love, and that it's actually a very stern teacher, we have to be willing to meet these things in us and in each other for the love to prevail.
Yes.
Because love can prevail all trauma. So understanding that contempt is coming from the survival brain, from the negative bias, right? So once we start developing only looking at the negative bias of our partner, then it's like in the wild. Well, I know this is danger, so I'm not going to go get those blueberries. I'm going to go find a new place. I'm going to find a new cave and a new blueberries, right? But meanwhile, it still could be a safe place. But because I've created the negative bias about my partner or the situation or the workplace or life, right? Again, contempt happens in many ways, right? if I understand that coming to appreciation brings me to my frontal cortex, which is a great exercise your friend got you to do, because then it brings you back into reasoning and thinking.
Yeah.
Right? In our limbic system, we're just like, we're ready to fight, or flee,
Totally. Well,
or freeze, or just like shut down. And so this is
yeah.
why when we don't understand, we have these two natures. We have a higher nature, a lower nature.
Mhm.
Right? We have a higher mind and we have a lower mind. And
Yes.
both have their role. Both,
Yeah.
we need our survival brain. But in our
Yeah.
modern world of so much imagined horror and fear
Yeah.
and terror and all that, our limbic brain perceives all that as real because it doesn't know
Mhm.
this, it doesn't know the difference between an imagined threat or story and a real one.
I could
So
see that.
our body chemistry reacts the same way, and that's why we believe it's true.
Well, it's crazy, like, in that moment of journaling, for example, like, it was a major internal wrestle. Like, I don't want to appreciate
No, you
things about
don't want
him.
to. It's your survival brain. Your survival brain does not want to let go. It
I'm
wants
like,
to
I
stay
wanna be
there.
pissed off in this moment. I wanna be annoyed. I wanna blame him for things, and then the other parts of me was like, "You love this man, and he takes care of you, and he's kind, and, like, what are you
Yeah.
doing?" And then it
Yeah.
was like, "Let me be angry right now." It was literally like the that, like, devil and angel
Yeah,
on
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
shoulder kinda
totally.
thing. That was what it
Totally.
was.
Totally.
It was weird.
Totally. And that happens, and it's bound to happen in every relationship.
Yeah.
But if we don't know that's normal to happen, first of all, right? Because
Mhm.
then when it happens, we're like, well, this shouldn't be happening.
Well,
You know,
according to Hollywood, the second you don't feel anything anymore, you're not in love and you
it,
should be gone. Just
it,
like the second you feel something, you are in love and you should be together.
exactly.
And so
Again,
it sort of idolizes, or I don't even know, like, it holds this relationship on a pedestal that doesn't actually exist, not in the same way. Anyway, people aren't falling in love after one day. People aren't falling out of love after one day. Like, this is a very long process.
yes, yes. And relationship is about relating.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting and taking.
Yeah.
And having our needs met the way we think they should be. I mean, of course, we
Mhm.
want to be able to communicate and, do I want to do everything I can for my husband so he feels safe,
Yeah.
he feels
Of
loved,
course.
right? So I'm willing to change, the way I word things or behaviors and vice versa.
Mhm.
Because if I know that there's a tender spot in his soul, I don't want to be activating it.
Yes.
I don't, and that's the nature, that's the appreciation. When we bring in the appreciation, the love we have for somebody, the part that we fell in love with, right? It's still
Mhm.
there.
Mhm.
What's changed is my focus.
Yes.
So, like in Hawaiian teachings, makia is the principle of focus. Where my attention goes, my energy flows, and that's what grows.
Ah, interesting. I bet you a lot of couples can talk about how their attention flows and what grows is their time on social media and not at all what their partner is loving and
That's
doing.
one way, right? Or if I'm focusing on everything that's making me unhappy,
Hmm.
well, then
Right.
that's
You're
gonna
literally watering that for that
totally.
to grow and blossom instead of your relationship
Exactly.
or the good things. Ah.
Exactly. And then also, what I've discovered is that whenever there have been things that triggered me in him,
Mhm.
like something he'd say, and he never meant it that way, but when I go into that trigger, then what it is an invitation for me to know myself
Yeah.
and to say, where is this coming from?
Right.
Right? How do I unpack this in a way that I can actually disentangle that energy in me or the memories or whatever so that I don't have that trigger anymore.
Yeah.
So we're each other's mirrors.
Mm.
And
Yeah.
and I would ask myself, like, say like there was a time I felt I wasn't heard, right? Long time ago.
Yeah.
And then I ask myself, well, where am I not hearing myself?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where is that from? Because really he's always been there for me. He does hear me. But there
Yes.
were moments where I would feel that. I'm like, well, but that doesn't match. So we have to have the cognitive clarity too to be able to say, wait a minute, well, here's the facts of the relationship and here's this trigger moment, but to not give all my attention to the trigger moment and make that the full spotlighted scene of life, but to bring
Mhm.
the spotlight to the whole picture,
Right.
all the pieces, right? And with the understanding that challenges are inevitable and we don't grow in comfort and safety. I'm sorry, we don't.
No, we don't.
Right. And so our partners, our ideal partner, will push our buttons sometimes because those buttons need to be pushed for us to evolve.
Mm-hmm.
And if I can embrace that, then I can navigate those moments.
So I have another example. I have a friend who is recently divorced after 15 plus years of marriage.
Yeah.
And it was bizarre watching her in this marriage because they never fought, they never disagreed, they never ever had issues. And not that I want people to be fighting in front of me, because I also think that's weird, but like there was never tension between them for years, to the point where it was like, is someone losing themselves in this? Like when there's zero pressure, how are you growing when everyone is just this the entire time? And eventually there became so much resentment because, you know, one person did everything for the other person and there was never a fight about it, that the one person who did everything snapped and wanted out. And now they're divorced after 15 plus years, 17, a lot of years of marriage. And it was like, without someone, you know, even if he had said something in the beginning, or she had said something in the beginning, or
communication,
you know, I don't like when you do this. Hey, it bugs me when you do that, or whatever.
Yeah. Or when you do that, I feel this.
Yes.
Right? Because it's really
I feel it's better than you do this.
Yeah. Well, it's more because as soon as we say something confrontational, like you did this, then naturally that person's survival is going to get activated.
You're right. Maybe why I'm not a good fighter.
But when I say, hey, when you say this makes me feel this way, then that activates the compassion and the frontal cortex, because of course, when we love each other, we don't want to cause pain. But sometimes we unintentionally do, just because of the different things we have stored inside.
Right. I mean, for the most part, majority of people feel empathy, right? So if you, even when you say, I feel like you did, or I feel this way when you, whatever.
Do this or do this. Yeah.
I mean, unless you're married to, I don't know, a sociopath.
Yeah, exactly. That's the exception.
If they don't feel like, I had another friend who was with a guy who had borderline personality disorder, which part of that is a lack of empathy. And so he wouldn't understand. And so she would say, when you do these things, it hurts me. Like, do you understand? And he wouldn't. And it would get to the point where he would say, well, then I should just kill myself because I'm hurting you and I don't even know it. You know, it was like, it was so extreme because you literally cannot feel empathy. But for the most part, I mean, obviously that's a much different scenario, but for the most part, people feel empathy. So when you tell them, I feel a certain way, they start to feel a certain way.
Exactly. And then it opens the communication lines, right? So that we can share and we can come back to appreciation.
Yes, totally.
Right. So appreciation is the magical elixir for any relationship.
So that's it. So if you're feeling right now like, I can't stand this man, I want to punch him every time I look at him, you know, maybe just appreciate what he did for you today. And I'm saying a man because, you know, I'm married to a man. Appreciate something that he did. And not even like, it doesn't, my friend said, it doesn't have to be something he did to serve you. It can be just in general.
Something, a quality that of their nature that you admire, that you fell in love with to begin with too, right?
Like I was lying in bed last night and I was like, I pray and I'm like, I'm feeling like annoyed with this person. And I was like, but he, you know what? He works really hard. And I'm like, and so every time I'm feeling annoyed that he has to go to work today, and it's like, no, because he works really hard. He doesn't have to be at home with you. Just because you don't work full time doesn't mean he doesn't need to work full time. You know, it was like, it was one of those weird light bulb moments. So it's actually funny that we're having this conversation today, and not funny, probably more like intended. But it's like, it's interesting to just reframe your thoughts on actually what is this person doing that is a beautiful characteristic of them, what makes them such a great person, instead of I'm so annoyed that he has to go to work today.
Right. Yeah. And finding that appreciation. And even like I see sometimes relationships, they go apart and, you know, then all of a sudden the whole, like say that your friends 17 years were bad. but there were good moments still there, and
100% there was. There was a
still
lot of great
for our
moments.
life. And so when we get out of the reaction and we go into the contemplation and reflection,
Mhm.
there's always stuff we can appreciate.
Yes.
And even if I can, and then I might come to the point, it can say, okay, I appreciate, but then at least it's going to be respectful and loving.
Yes.
It doesn't have to destroy all of the years
Well, that's
before,
it. You can
right?
fight with your spouse in a very healthy, productive, constructive way. It doesn't have to be this ghetto violence, yelling at each other, calling each other names, talking
Yeah.
down to each other. Like, it can be constructive and helpful. My husband and I fight very rarely, but when we do, I actually feel like a huge weight has been lifted
Yeah.
when
Yeah.
we're done.
Yeah. And that's what will keep your relationship fresh,
Mhm.
right? It's like the stirring up,
Mhm.
right? Of whatever has not been spoken. When it's finally spoken,
Yeah,
it's like, oh, it is like a weight is lifted. And sometimes
literally.
it just takes us time to find our voice as well.
Yes.
So it's
Yes.
not like we're not always ready to say in that moment. But at least if I go inward and I reflect and I sort and I do my part to know myself, then that moment can arise where I can feel confident enough
Mhm.
to share what I need to share, to say this feels this way when you do this, or
Mhm.
last week, I couldn't say it then, but I need to say this now. This is still kind of weighing on me, and I'd like to work it out with you, kind of a thing.
Yeah.
And when we approach it that way, when we become our friends with each other, that's really the thing. Friends always appreciate each other, so
Totally. I
that's
would
also
never say anything negative to my
that's
friend
so
ever.
that's the other element, right? When we
Yeah.
lose the friendship, that
Yeah.
builds contempt, right?
Yeah,
Friendship and
absolutely.
appreciation, those two qualities
Mhm.
will always make us rise into our higher self and our higher
Mhm.
mind.
Yes.
But the moment that we feel like, the person beside us deserves our worst, well, that's the moment we should just go away.
Literally.
I mean, we should really just, if that's what it is, because nobody deserves that treatment.
Yeah, totally.
Right. And so if I can't find anything to appreciate, if I do that exercise and I don't, well, then I've got to say, okay, bless you,
What are
for
you
the
doing
time,
here? Yes.
and it brought me to this clarity. Okay, we got to go, but let's honor our time together. Right. So
For
if it
sure.
came to something like that, that's as an
Yep.
example.
Yep.
Right. But we when we love somebody and we have friendship, we want to nourish the relationship. We
Yeah.
want to take care of the friendship. So when that sort of slippery slope starts coming in relationship, it's important to, like you did, which I'm so happy your friend, gave you that exercise.
Mhm.
Stretch, of course your the pit bull teeth is what I call. You just want to, like, you don't want to let go of the irritation or the frustration or the contempt or the dismissal or whatever, right?
Yes.
But the more that we breathe, and that's where the breath work comes in. In those moments, we need to breathe. If
Yes.
we hold our breath, then that's when we hold on to whatever it is. But the moment we start to breathe,
Mhm.
like the in for 5, out for 5, that's a breath I've mentioned a few times.
Mhm.
It helps to create inner space. It helps to get our frontal cortex back online, so
Mhm.
that we're actually thinking reasonably and
Right.
whole picture, big picture thinking,
Well,
versus just the narrow self gratification
yes.
drug rush of adrenaline and cortisol that temporarily makes me feel powerful, but it's not power at
Right.
all.
But you don't feel powerful at all in the end, really.
No, right? It's not,
Like
that's
this
not the kind of power we want.
3 second of power that literally
Exactly.
means nothing.
Exactly. But it's intoxicating like a drug.
It is,
But what it
yes.
reveals is that somewhere I don't feel in power.
Yeah.
So then I need to do my inner work to say, well, where is my genuine power?
Yes.
My
Yeah.
genuine power is in relationship with myself and in life and connectedness.
Mhm.
Be able to find a way to communicate and share and evolve the crude material of my trauma
Yeah.
into something that is actually life-giving, right?
Yes.
And that can nourish the relationship. And my
Well,
husband and I have been together for 11 years, and it's like we married 6 years, but 12 years now, actually, 12 years in a few weeks. And this has been the biggest school for both of us, and the
mhm.
biggest healing room, and the deepest friendship, and many moments contempt. Again, like I said, if we hadn't caught it, either one of us, then we wouldn't be experiencing the beauty that we're experiencing now,
100%. Yes,
right?
and it is your 7-year anniversary today,
Yeah,
so
7-year wedding anniversary, and our meeting anniversary, 12 years, is on the 26th of October. So October is our month.
Yes, absolutely.
Right?
Well, congratulations. You're doing something right. I think anyone who's listening, we have 53 people live from Twitter right now. That is
Amazing.
insane.
Beautiful.
But either way, if you're listening here today, try something Luannah's saying. Just write down something that you appreciate about your partner today.
And connect to the feeling of it and breathe while you do it, right? Because again, where my attention goes, my energy flows, and that's what grows.
Yes.
So what do I want to grow? This is what I got to ask in that moment. Do I want to grow love and connection, or do I want to grow separation and
fair?
That's really the choice in those moments.
Yes.
What do I want? If I want to choose love, it's going to take and call something more from me. It's going to call me to stretch myself beyond my reactive emotions. But that's where the prize is. Either way, that's where the prize is, right?
Well,
or if I decide to go with my reactivity and whatever, well, I got to know what the result is going to be from that. So I got to make that choice.
Yes.
What do I want? Do I want love and deepening, or do I want separation?
For sure.
Because if I'm choosing to keep reacting, but I'm saying I want love and connection, I'm sorry, that's not going to happen.
Yes, your words and your actions.
It's going to destroy everything, right? And just one little piece that I found is really good in relationships, because we always attract the perfect partner for both, right? For that unearthing of our unconsciousness to be healed, and for the light that we each are to lift each other.
Yes.
And in relationship, we tend to have what I call tubular traumas from our past. You know, tubular plants? So they have like a base in the earth, but they grow and they shoot all through the property, right? It's a tubular. They grow tubes and then they grow everywhere. Yeah. So oftentimes what can happen in relationship is we think we've resolved it because we've cleared the plants, what's showing on the surface. But until we get to that tubular beginning, we don't get there, right? It doesn't completely clear. But to understand that some of our wounds, some of them we clear, it's gone. But some of them, they might go deeper into our biology and into our nervous system. And so to have the kindness and the patience and the compassion to go through the different layers until we get to that root. And once we remove that, then no more tubulars. It doesn't show up in our relationship anymore. But it's a process.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I mean, it's relationships are work, right? Any self-help or progress is work, and relationships are no different.
Yeah, and sometimes I like to change the word work, because it is work, yes, but if we think about our inner self, our nature is wired to move towards pleasure and away from pain. So if I say a relationship is work, I'm going to want to move away from it.
Fair.
Right? But if I say it's an adventure, you know, it's like it's the hero's journey. It is the hardest journey, but it's also the most rewarding.
Right.
Right. So then I'm going to be like, then my inner child's like, oh, I'm curious about that. Okay. Let's engage it. Right. So just, it's one little shift.
All about that reframing again.
It's all, and it's just one reframe word changes the whole way we perceive something.
Okay. So, I love that. Yeah. Relationships are an adventure. They are. Absolutely.
They are like the Star Trek, where no man has dared to go before, right? Exactly. This is the last frontier, is our inner world, and encountering it with another person, right? And then growing from that.
For sure. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Well, we could talk about this all day long. Obviously, we've gone over our time today. I will just quickly get to our last topic. But honestly, I could talk about this forever. Forever.
Yeah, great.
So fun facts, how cheesy. My fun facts today are on what animals you can get cheese from. It's not just cows, heads up. It's more than just cows and goats. Side note, we have had 54 people from Twitter today. This is insane. People, if you were listening to me, comment next time. There's a little bit of a delay between our show and your comment, but we will get to them if you comment here. We would love to connect with you. And thank you for being here. Come back every day at this time.
Yeah,
and you get to see, well, all week we're talking cheese. I mean, who doesn't love that? You came for the crocodile stories, you stayed for the relationship help, and now you're here for animal cheese. So we mix it up here on Going On Daily. All right. The first animal that you can get cheese from that is not a cow is reindeer. Who knew? Reindeer cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
It says in,
incredible.
it says in Scandinavia, it's definitely more of a thing. Certainly not here, but I would try it. I
Wow,
don't know.
never
I would,
imagined that. But I guess because they have milk, so that makes
yeah.
sense that it would
I
be
mean, anyway,
possible.
if they have milk, moose, you can get it from moose.
Wow.
I'm sure well, it says it didn't even exist until recently, but it's the brainchild of a place called Elk Farmhouse in Sweden again. And they had 3 lactating moose and they milked them for 5 months to provide the entire world's milk moose supply from these 3 moose.
Wow.
Would the cheese from a moose be choose? Oh my word, Ron. We're done here. Comments done. Uh, a donkey. This is bizarre. It says the most expensive cheese in the world is from a donkey, and it sells for $1,000 a pound.
Oh my
What on
goodness.
earth? Why? But why?
Wow. Wow,
It's
that's
made from
incredible.
endangered Balkan donkeys, so it is considered one of the most luxurious items on earth. I mean, realistically, like they all probably taste a bit of the same. I mean, goat cheese has a little bit more of an earthy flavor,
Yeah.
but I mean, like I eat blue cheese and gorgonzola. I mean,
Oh,
that's
I love that. Oh
I
my
do
god.
too. Oh,
Gorgonzola risotto. Oh,
no.
I love
Or
making that.
like gorgonzola with pears.
Ooh, that's
Like in
delicious.
a salad, yummy.
Yeah.
In Central Asia, horse cheese is
Wow.
produced during foaling season, and where the fresh mare's milk is mixed with the remains of the previous year's horse cheese and gradually stirred outside a yurt for several days. It results in a cheese that can be eaten fresh or even dried. Okay, interesting.
Okay.
Horse cheese. I mean,
Interesting.
I think we're ignorant in North America or in the Western world to think that all we eat is cows and goat, right?
True.
Like,
Yeah.
I mean, it's like in where is it? Iceland, I think they eat horses. Like here, you wouldn't dare eat a horse, but like that's they eat that there, and it's like it's ignorant for us to think otherwise.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
another one I have definitely heard of this alpaca. So I actually know a girl I went to high school with. She runs or has an alpaca farm, so I'm sure she makes cheese. But yeah, that's a big one for the cheese world that's not made from cows.
Wow.
Camel is another one.
Camel. Wow.
Camel, yeah, it says in Northeast Africa for centuries, camel milk was used, and it's far more nutritious than its bovine counterpart. That's crazy. It can be used to make sour, pungent, and powerful cheese. So probably is more along the lines of like a goat cheese, and
Wow.
then some, I'm guessing.
Wow.
And the last one on the list, this one is this one's gross. Ron, get your hashtags ready. Human cheese. Your face. Oh my gosh. Make a reel of this. It says we are mammals, technically. So, with a little bit of imagination, human cheese can be a reality, albeit stomach turning and pretty gross. It says this theory became a scientific fact thanks to pioneering work of New York chef Daniel Angerer, who managed to turn his wife's breast milk into a hard, crumbly, cheddar like substance with delicious results. My friend. There is no shortage of any of the
I'm
animals.
not able to soften my eyes. My eyes are still like popping out and like, wow, that's incredible.
Ron, is that a form of cannibalism? Well, no, because babies eat breast milk, but like,
Yeah.
I think that, that stops sort of globally around 2, 3 years old. North America, much, much earlier.
Yeah.
Um, I
Wow.
don't know. I don't know. I don't think it needs to be made into cheese. I think it's perfect in its form and for the purpose of feeding a baby.
Yeah.
We don't need cheese out of that. What if you on your salad? Where are you putting that? I don't know.
Well, I mean, in a sense, it's like human creativity has no bounds, right?
No, it
There's an
certainly doesn't.
idea, and in a sense, it's like, wow, okay, right? But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Bootylicious,
don't know
Ron.
that
Get
I
out
would
of
do it,
here.
but yeah.
I thought I banned you
Bootylicious.
from comments, Ron. Jeez. Well, that's our show today. Sorry to end it on an absolutely foul note, but I'm glad everyone was here. I cannot believe the amount of people we had today, but we love it. Please stay tuned every day at 7 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Mountain, 9 a.m. Central, 10 a.m. Eastern. We are here every day except for Friday. Although Friday at this hour is my show that's on here. So also stay tuned on Fridays. But be with us tomorrow where we have Chuck and Ron together. Always a good time with Chuck, always a good time with Ron. So you'll definitely want to be around for that one. Wednesday, we have Sharon and Kyle. And Thursday, I am back with JJ. So we cannot wait to see you on one of those days. Once again, make sure you check us out on, up in that corner, Rumble, YouTube, Twitch, and of course, Twitter.
And remember, the best things in life, like cheesecake, require presence and gentle touch. Let's leave it like that.
Love it. Have a wonderful day, everybody. Thanks for being here.
Too. Much love. Bye.